guys, welcome back to the Mud Pie Caviar channel. So I'm going to take us back to 1977 and I want to talk about a really unique, cool bike that Harley made that we'd never seen before or never since from the company. Let's check it out. So, in 1960, something really interesting went down at Harley Davidson. Always being on the lookout for new opportunities, different markets. Harley bought a 50% stake in an Italian motorcycle company called Marchi Motorcycles. And this company was producing mainly two-stroke, small displacement engines, perfect for those narrow European roads and busy city streets. So Harley brought these bikes back to the States as Marchi Harley Davidson, and they sold fairly well. They were eventually upgraded to 250cc, 350cc twin engines, but by 1969 Harley was really struggling to sell motorcycles. So in steps a company by the name of the American Machine and Foundry, or AMF, a sporting goods company. So you can imagine this raised a lot of eyebrows and made a lot of people very nervous, because up until that point AMF were most well known for 10-pin bowling supplies and equipment. Over the next decade, things got pretty wacky. As the 70s rolled in, fashions changed, ever more competition from Japanese companies like Honda or British Triumph really forced Harley to have a look at what they were doing and diversify their motorcycles. So as well as the larger bikes, which they were famous for, Harley started producing models like the TX 125, the Baja 100, the Sprint, the AMF 350, and the Sportster, which is like a monkey bike before monkey bikes were cool. You know, these were all fun, quirky little bikes that have mostly been forgotten and buried by history. It was around this time in 1976 that a young Willie G Davidson, who had noticed the cafe racer culture sweeping through Europe and America, decided he wanted to build his own American-inspired cafe racer. Enter the XLCR 1000. While most of the cafe racers from Europe at the time were inspired by the MotoGP racing bikes, Willie wanted his cafe racer to be inspired by the American heritage of racing, the flat track dirt racing. It had bikini fairing, it had flat top fuel tank, tracker bars, tracker seat pan, this strange Siamese exhaust, and it was all black on black, sleek, mean as hell. It was an absolutely stunning bike and unlike anything Harley had done before. As his starting point, Willie took the front end of the Sportster XLH and matched it up with the chassis of the XR 750, which was the bike that Evel Knievel made famous. And powering the whole thing was the same engine as the Sportster of the time, which was the 4-speed Ironhead 998cc. They claimed it could do 110 miles per hour top speed and put out 61 brake horsepower at 6,200 RPM. So all this styling gave the bike a mean, badass street fighter look, but in reality the bike was almost as heavy as the Sportster. It was 234 kilos wet, and the handling was pretty bad, and nobody quite knew where it belonged. It was too heavy for the cafe racer set, and it was too European looking for the Harley set. Only 1,923 of these bikes were ever made between 1977 and 1979, and most of them sat on the dealership floor gathering dust. I can't help but imagine if Harley were to update a bike like the XLCR in much the way that Triumph have with their Bonneville lineup. Imagine this bike with the Revolution Max liquid cooled engine putting out 120 horsepower with a lighter modern chassis, Olin suspension, upswept exhaust, all that cool late 70s styling, but just given a little twist and modernized a bit. Harley actually released a prototype of a bike that was kind of like that, but they scrapped it in much the way they scrapped the Bronx also. Let me know what you guys think. Does anyone remember the 1977 XLCR? What do you guys think of the AMF era bikes? Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. Yeah, please let me know what you think in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you approve, and we'll see you guys next time.